Entrepreneurs, get ready. Get ready. Turn this up. Welcome to the Impact Over Everything podcast with Beez and Van. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Impact Over Everything podcast, where we challenge everything.
And we stand for something so we don't fall for anything.
That's right. That's right. Yo, Van, my brother, man. What's good, man? It's good to see you again, bro.
Bro, it's been a crazy week, bro. 5 flights and 6 flights, bro, in 5 days, bro. I feel like I don't even know what I feel like, bro. But I feel like something different than I've ever felt before, bro. It's been
facts, bro. And I'm regularly busy, but Lord, this week, man, from Father's Day, I mean, you was at the conference. I was taking my son to this the school called IMG Academy. It's one of the best athletic schools in the country. He was there for camp. It ended up being a 14-hour trip because driving up and some crazy things happened with the Mustang Mach-E, the electric car, and I didn't plan right for the charging stations. It was crazy. But after that, the next morning I flew out with my oldest son to Atlanta. We did college tours, then event at night with some other entrepreneurs, then shooting all day Tuesday, then flying back to Miami, then radio interviews planning for this weekend, and then flying out tomorrow again to Chicago. And that's a good segue into what's going on. Why are we flying out tomorrow to Chicago? And, that's about Hive leaders. Bro, tell the audience, tell them, what is Hive, man? What is Hive? What are we doing? What's going on?
Yeah, so this is something that, we've been thinking about putting together, or not thinking about, we've been planning to put together for probably about 3 months now. And just kind of like the podcast, one day you just say, you know what, we rolling it out. We not waiting and putting it, like, we just gonna roll it out, and we just gonna get it out to the world. And it's about leaders coming together, and that's experts in their own lane, that has their own influence in their own lane, their own impact in their own lane, but coming together to give back to communities all over the world, not just the United States, but all over the world, to give impact back to the communities from the knowledge that we have, the resources that we have, and just giving our community, especially the kids, the upper hand to change the dynamics of their life, to change the dynamics by having access to this information that we all have as leaders, and then giving them a different example by not just being an athlete or a rapper or things of those nature. Showing real entrepreneurship is about impact, is about giving back, and is about uplifting the community. So we as leaders came together. This initial group of leaders is definitely going to be extended to, more leaders as we build it. But this initial group of leaders just coming back to give back first. That's it. We all just about giving back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I feel like Hive needs to have be the mascots of Impact Over Everything podcast, because that's exactly the whole purpose. And it's just coincidental. Me and Van are always focusing on impact. And we just happen to, also have created this coalition of leaders that also want to focus on impact. So I know in the beginning we was like, okay, well, what's the purpose? Like, what exactly are we going to do? What is Hive? And organically, we just kind of really figured it out, because we knew we all had a passion for helping others. We all had a passion for giving back. And in particular, at least the majority, if not all of us, want to focus on the kids, the youth. All right. So immediately, and I hope you see the trend now, bro, because as soon as I'm like, yo, let's just go. Right? We don't make no sense to wait. And I'm taking, notes from you, Mr. Go All In, right? And we were trying to plan an event to say, okay, let's go out and help some kids in some underserved community. And I think it was Brother Umar who suggested Chicago. And, initially, all of us were all leaders. We're all doing things in our different businesses. It was hard to try to figure out a date. Like, oh, no, I got a conference that date. Oh, wait a minute. No, I got to do this that date, whatever. And then we were just like, well, you know what? Nobody got nothing to do next week. we can make it happen next week. Yo, let's just go. Let's just do it. It didn't matter if it's only 10 people. It didn't matter if it's 2 people. We still wanted to go out there and do it. Turns out, in that short period of time, once again, man, I tell people that the universe is putting people in front of me, in front of us, to help them, right? And in that short period of time, we already got over 50 people that's RSVP'd, right? We already, today, I did a radio show interview with, oh man, I forget the name of the radio station. I could tell you in a second, but I did a radio show interview with the radio station in Chicago. I brought in Nick, who's part of Hive. I brought in Coach Perdure Carter, who is the person whose venue we're utilizing. And we spoke on the radio. Man, the feedback, the energy was insane. I had people calling me after saying, Beez, they are talking about y'all like crazy in Chicago right now. I was like, really? They're like, yeah, everybody wants to know who y'all are. And, why would a bunch of entrepreneurs that don't even live in Chicago just be flying in randomly to have a free event to talk to kids and show them that there's a whole nother way. Things that, they don't got to be, a football player. They don't got to be a basketball player. They don't got to be a rapper. They don't got to be a trapper. They don't got to be, in any type of gang banging, nothing, in order to have the luxuries of life, to live a life of freedom, right? To live the life of their dreams. So this is insane. Just because we want to help people, it turned into this huge event. And this is just the one of many. I think one thing that we're going to do in Hive is we'll travel the country talking to the kids, right? And it starts there. We'll figure out other things to do too. There's a lot of ways to give back. But ultimately, what Van said is key. We are changing the world, right? I used to hesitate to say that because I felt like that's, you're having delusions of grandeur. It's like, your head is big, man. You're talking about you changing the world. We are, and we will continue to change the world. And that goes back to, I think the quote, there's 2 quotes that I think have kind of been adopted by Hive. One is my favorite one, which is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, right? I think that's the epitome of what we are in Hive. We're greater together than we ever could be apart. But the next one, Brother Umar, he said he really loves it. And I actually got this from our fraternity because it's one of our, our mantras. And it's inclusion rather than exclusion, right? So in Hive, it's not like we came together and we like, yo, it's a couple of us, and it's just us, and we're the, the elite group. Nah, we came together and started with certain people, but we're creating a platform that other leaders of influence, of assets that can help, will be able to then give back to others and give back to the kids. So I'm excited, bro. I'm excited. That's all I got to say, man. I'm super excited.
So there's been people hitting me up about Hive, of how can I get in Hive? Why wasn't I invited to Hive? And all of these things. And trust me, this has nothing to do with us excluding people, or you weren't good enough, or, hey, you're not a good fit. It's all about phases of how we're gonna roll this out. If we got 30 people, 40 people involved in the beginning stages without really having the structure together, then it would be chaos, right? So these initial leaders that we've chosen and felt like it was a good fit, it doesn't stop there. We definitely are gonna expand the leadership roles. We're gonna expand the people that we want to be a part of Hive. And trust me, when you're doing what you need to do and you're staying impact first, you have influence in your community, and you gonna get the call. But just because you didn't have the call yet doesn't mean that you weren't someone that we're looking at or someone that wants to be involved. We just wanted to roll this out in phases. And just like this podcast, it's not gonna be perfect in the beginning, right? Hive ain't, we got things that we got to work out, but we're all judged on our intentions. And the intentions of Hive is to not exclude people, but to include people. The goal of Hive is to make an impact all over the world, not just in the United States. We got plans for Africa. We got plans for a lot of different places in the world for Hive to touch. So for all those people right now that's listening to this feeling like, hey, I should be a part of Hive, or hey, why didn't I get invited? The invite's coming for sure. And we just want to make sure that we get the structure together, the formatting together of how we're going to do this. And the people that we do call on has to be committed too as well. You know, we're meeting every week. We're meeting in a new city every week to give back. And it has to, and I know a lot of people out there are very busy. You know, I'm very busy. Beez is busy. A lot of the people that's in the group, all of the people in the group are very busy, got careers, got businesses, got brands, got other things that they're doing. So it's definitely a commitment to Hive that you have to be fully committed to be able to give your time, not just money, but give your time back to the communities that will be impacting. So I think that's very important to talk about as well, that we're not, excluding people on purpose. And, it's not like a club thing to where the good old boys club. It's not, it ain't like that.
Agreed, bro. But you know what? I mean, this may be the unpopular, statement, but truth be told, if someone is like, what are you really focused on? If you're just like, why am I not included? Right? Because none of us is talking about the I, right? All of us is talking about the we and how we can impact others. So, don't feel away if you weren't included initially. Like Van says, this is phases. And to be honest, the selection process, in essence, it wasn't even a selection process. It was just, the vibe that we got and the emotions that certain people was already making. It was like a natural fit to start off. Right. But so much more. One question I had from people was like, oh, why there's no women in Hive? And there actually is. Goddess Orisha Oshun is in Hive. That's just the start. Right. And much more to come. And there were actually 2 others that were, pegged to be in Hive, but they were too busy right now. Doesn't mean they won't be eventually, but right now they're too busy for it. So it's definitely understandable. Like Van said, it is going to be a commitment. It's not a status thing. This is not, I'm part of Hive. Let me put it around my border around my my picture.
around my clubhouse.
It ain't nothing like that. It ain't nothing like that. This is, are you going to be able to meet weekly? Are you going to be able to meet in person? Van, you said weekly, but the in person was monthly.
Yeah, monthly in person. Yeah.
Yeah. And are you going to, yesterday I told the collective, I told everybody that the flyer for Chicago, I was like, okay, I just decided out of nowhere to just do a boost post, promote the post. And just, I was like, I'll just throw $300 behind it. Ain't nothing much. We don't even got that much space, at the venue. But, so I was like, we already got enough publicity to get people to come out, to get these kids to come out. But, I figured I'd just boost this post, put a little promo. $300 for over 3 days. Nothing major, $100 a day. Immediately, everyone in Hive was like, yo, I'm at it. And then sent me, cash at me money to increase the spend on that post. I don't even think we need to do it, but everybody was like, nah, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So being able to and willing to contribute and make that impact and then show up. Not everybody could show up too. Some people already had specific engagements they can't get out of. My guy, Brad, he had his wife's birthday, right? Actually, let's see, this episode will come out next week. Okay, so I can say this because it's a surprise party. So hopefully she ain't gonna hear this before the party, but you got a surprise party going on for her. You can't expect him to be like, nah, drop that, bro. You coming to Hive, you know what I'm saying? So you already had an engagement that you had to deal with, and can't expect you to, cancel that either. And you speaking to people too. You're also giving impact. So yeah, man, this is something that, I hope everyone, actually, what's the thing that you always say, Van? It's like, I think you got it from ET maybe, where it's people want to be part of something, but not necessarily to give into it. They want to get something from it, right?
Yeah, so
and that's not the right mentality.
Yeah, specifically what ET said, Eric Thomas, he said, people desire what he's learned over the years of, you know, being successful and being in the top 1%, you know, being the number one motivational speaker in the world, is people are eager and desire to be in his circle or be in the top 1% circle, not necessarily his circle, but just be in that top 1%. But they desire to be in that circle because of the lifestyle, for the accolades, for the pub, for the, you know, for the juice that it brings. But they don't have that same desire to give value to the earth. They don't have that same desire to even bring value to that circle, to that top 1%, or just the earth in general. And he said, he took it even a step further. He said, as high as he is and as much success that he has, he feels like if he wakes up today and doesn't give value to the earth, that very shortly he'll become irrelevant. So you're only as good as the value that you're bringing to the earth. And if you feel like you've given enough value that you got to stop giving value, that's when you become irrelevant, no matter how much success that you get. So as big as Hive is, as big as you are, as big as the things that we've done, the second we decide that we've made it and we stop giving value to the earth, very shortly after that is when we become irrelevant. So we got to keep giving back. We got to keep bringing value, because then the earth will just dismiss you. Like you said, when you start raising your hand and saying to the universe, hey, I want this, but then you're making the effort to give back, then that's when the universe rewards you for those things. But the second you stop giving back and stop putting in that effort, that's when everything just starts falling away. Things start falling apart.
Facts. I don't know if I've mentioned this one before. I probably have, because it is still one of my favorite books and I often reference it. But if y'all haven't read The Alchemist, man, The Alchemist, one of my favorite books. And that's where I always realized, I kind of knew it, but it just brought it to light for me, where it talks about when you desire something, all the universe conspires to make it happen. And I used to be like, really? Like, I don't know. But I've seen it. And I'll tell you right now, I've seen it in a way that most people wouldn't believe is true. And I have witnesses on my round table, bro. I literally let them watch it happen, let it play out. Tonight, I told a whole story on the round table about the woman that I was bringing on to speak to everybody. And everybody was so excited. They were like, yo, she is powerful. Like, where'd you find her? What is this? What's going on? And I told them how I met her. I was like, people think that she's my best friend since we was in kindergarten or something. I met her like just 2-3 weeks ago, right? And the universe put her in front of me to help more people, right? We creating a program right now that's gonna help people in a government contracting space that is on a whole nother level. And one of our guys in Hive, Jason White, he's in that space already. But this lady is taking it to a whole different level when we get into 8A government programs. Some of y'all may not know what that is. Don't worry about it right now. The point is, her goal and my goal is aligned to help our community as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And the program we are about to create is going to level it up. I mean, I'm talking about millions of dollars that people could earn and a whole blueprint for it. So the universe puts these people in front of you. You just need to it's like Final Destination. I know Final Destination's negative because that's people dying, but if you ever watch the movie Final Destination, there's like all these signs happening and nobody's paying attention to the signs, and then bam, all of a sudden everything goes to hell, right? Yeah. Now I'm seeing like all these signs and I'm paying attention to the signs, and I'm like, yo, things are going to the Garden of Eden. It's just like amazing. So you got to keep that positive energy. You got to keep the right people around you. You got to keep focused and motivated on what you want to achieve. You got to put yourself out there, right? Because I wouldn't have met this woman had I not been putting myself out there. And I can tell you exactly how it happened. There was a post that I made about a profit that I was starting. Then someone else who I had just met for the last 4 months but loved me she was like, oh my God, Beez, I would love to, help you with that. I love, philanthropy and nonprofits, etc. Matter of fact, I got this woman that you should definitely meet. She's a beast. She's amazing at government contracting. She could help you to get your nonprofit started. I was like, okay, cool. Met her, was talking to her, signed up with her program. She's helping me to get everything set up with my nonprofit. Then she was helping me to write it's kind of like a bio type of thing. And when I gave her more details on my background, she's like, oh my God, I didn't know you did all of this, Beez. I have somebody you have to meet. She called that person immediately, and that ended up being the person that I just met a couple weeks ago that, now I'm in a partnership with her to create something huge for our community. And we're going to announce it soon. I don't want to, get into too much details what it is here, but that's a perfect example, man. Perfect example. So y'all keep focused out there, man, and keep making things happen and, stay in that positive direction, and things are just going to fall into your lap. For real.
Bro, I got lost in the story, bro. I was like, man, keep going.
Yo, there's more to it. There's more to it. I know it is. We'll dedicate an episode soon to that because it's that powerful, bro. It's that powerful, bro. This is game changer. However, I even told my roundtable, I was like, listen, not everybody gonna want to do this because this is not a side hustle thing. This is a full-time. Yeah, everybody wants to be a boss. Actually, you know what? Here goes the universe putting things in front of me again because I just saw Dave Shands. He made a post maybe today, maybe yesterday that says something about boss. And if you really want a boss, or everybody want to be a boss, but they don't want to hire people. Like, if you're trying to be a real boss, you think you calling yourself a CEO, but you don't got payroll, you don't got, no benefits for your people, you just a one-man shop. Listen, and y'all read Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and he'll talk about the cash flow quadrant. You still self-employed. You're not a business owner if you're not, having systems in place and people hired and all of that. So this, I don't even want to use the word play, but this business strategy that we're going to put forward for people, this whole program, you got to level up. You got to have a real business in play, and we'll be able to help people to do that and easily making millions. So
that's it.
Man, the community. It's all about the community.
Absolutely. So all of those things lead me to this next thing. We want to go into our next segment, which is the second episode of our Entrepreneur Highlight. We're highlighting entrepreneurs that's doing big things in their space. And these aren't always the people that you already know that are viral on Instagram or Facebook and social media, but these are guys that are still making noise in their community and they're coming up, right? They're making an impact, but you might not know about them. So we want to highlight them here so you can know about them, so you can tap in with them. So I'm going to pass it over to you, man, so you can introduce this young man for the Entrepreneur Spotlight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, here goes another great story. Right now, I'm going to introduce this guy, but I got to tell you, it's not really how I met him, but it's what made me nominate him as our Entrepreneur Spotlight today. Like I said, I was in Atlanta this week, and I was at I had just hooked up with my guy, my boy, my brother, Pushman Mitch. We was talking about some stuff. We was going through some Airbnb things, and then I told him, all right, I'll catch you later at Brad's house for the watch party for him being on American Ninja Warrior. Mitch shows up, and right behind him, this skinny little dude walks behind him, and he's like, hey, Beez. And I'm like, hey, kind of recognized him, wasn't sure. He was like, hey, Beez, I'm CEO Mono Chill. I was like, oh, yeah, I remember you, because he's always on my live, right? In the comments, talking. He be commenting on my posts. He making his noise. He trying to make himself be recognized, right? And he told me the story of how Mitch was basically, I don't know if it was a contest or Mitch just randomly chose, but he's part of Mitch's community, with the students that are learning on how to do the car rental stuff. And Mitch basically told him, hey, you want to come pull up with me and get in the room? And he was like, oh, yeah, please. Mitch literally pulled up on him. He doesn't live in he doesn't even live in ATL, but he was, kept tapping in with Mitch and letting him know he was there in town. So Mitch was like, all right, cool, come, I'm gonna pick you up. He rolled up on him in the I-8, picked him up, brought him over to Brad's house. And Mo was just like a kid in a candy shop. He was like, yo, oh my God, I'm in here with all of these big players. Look, there goes Neo. Oh my God, there's Beez. Oh goodness, there's this person, that person. There was Brad. Oh, it was Donnie. All of this. And he was so excited. And I was like, yo, I'm glad to see that you ain't just getting a room, but you also talking to people. You also out there networking, right? And I had to spotlight him because I looked more into what he was doing. So without further ado, here's CEO Mo No Chill.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Mo, and I'm from Detroit, and I am into the rental car space. I got introduced to the rental car space end of February after purchasing Bushman Mitch's course. 2 weeks later, I purchased my first vehicle and literally been going at it since. And right now, I've got 4 vehicles on the road, and they're very consistent. They're always gone. I barely ever see these vehicles, and at first, I started with this whole entrepreneurship thing by purchasing my first course, which was Hive 500 course, which is recession proof. January 5th was actually when I first bought into the course. And ever since then, man, I've just been trying to network, grow my net worth, talking to everyone, shaking hands, just trying to put myself in these rooms. And honestly, that's the best thing I've ever done for myself. Around March is when I actually walked away from my job, and I've been working at the dealership as a service advisor for 8 years, but I was able to walk away from that because I've seen the potential that I have actually, and I see what I can actually do for myself. I didn't want to keep depending on my boss, basically. So I basically fired my boss, I want to say end of March, and honestly, I couldn't be happier. I was able to meet some great people, shake some hands, been expanding and just getting to know a lot of people. And I've also been investing in myself, putting myself in certain rooms. That's how I'm able to get to know somebody like Beez. So I do appreciate you, Beez, and I appreciate this opportunity, and thank you for letting me be on here and talk about what I do exactly. And I also want to thank the Impact Over Everything podcast. I really appreciate you guys, and I look forward to talking to you guys some more. You guys have a good one.
This young man, this entrepreneur, man, this good guy, man, good energy, has been at every single event that I've pulled up to probably in 2021. He's been to Miami, he's been in Atlanta, he's been everywhere. Like you, he's been, tapping in with me and things of those natures. Always positive, man. He's always giving people their flowers. Like, hey, man, you doing this, you doing that, right? He's never once been like, hey, I got this to offer. Hey, I'm doing this. He's come into the room to give value. And from that, now he's been highlighted, right? So I want to say big ups to my man. He's doing his thing. He has great energy. And you guys definitely need to tap into him to see what he's doing, because he's investing to get in rooms. He's going out. He's being humble, but also he's being vulnerable, because he's tapping into people. People could turn him down. People could be like, nah, whatever the case may be. But his tenacity and his certainty about his confidence in his brand and his business got him in a room with multiple 7-figure earners and people that's, at the top of their space. So I guarantee you that him being in that room that day with you guys is going to lead to something for him. I guarantee it already led to something. He's being highlighted on with us. And now I definitely going to tap back in with him and see how I could support him and how we could do some things together, man. So big ups to my man. And this is a good example of just being genuine, being hungry, getting in rooms, but also networking once you get in the room, because it's one thing to pay to get in the room. But if you get in that room and don't talk to nobody, man, you just got an expensive ticket into a room and you didn't do nothing with it.
Exactly. Facts. And if you heard on the video just now, he said one of your favorite lines is, I fired my boss. And, he talks about how he fired his boss just recently, right? All this stuff is brand new for him. Like he said, he started off in recession proof with Hive 500. Then he went over to with Mitch and, getting into the Turo and the car rental games. So he fired his boss just recently and he grinding. So yeah, man, kudos to him. Keep doing what you're doing, young brother, for sure.
So let's get back on track on Hive, right? So why would 10 plus individuals, we got 11 now, 11
yep.
people come together, taking their time, taking their money, taking energy to come together for nothing in return. There's nothing, we're not expecting anything in return for putting this group together and going out into the community. Why would we do this? When you accept your purpose in life and understand that you were put on this earth only to add value to humanity, and I'm taking a bold statement. I'm taking a bold leap tonight, Beez. I feel like every human being that's put on this earth has only been put on this earth to add value to the earth. No human being was put on this earth to just consume, to be a consumer, or to take, or to just feed off other people. You were put on this earth to add value to the earth. So these 11 individuals, including myself, all have decided and accepted the fact that we've been put on this earth to give back to the earth. So we've come together to do just that. So whatever you're doing within your brand, whatever you're doing within your business, whatever you're doing, even if you have a 9 to 5, whatever you're doing in your community, with your family, whatever you're doing, just understand that you've been put on this earth to give value to the earth. So I would say this. I'm excited about where this is going because I feel like that we can get other people in the world to accept their purpose, that they've been here to give value to the earth. And however that looks like, I don't know what that looks like for everybody. It's different for everybody. What value you give to the earth is going to be different because all of us give value in a different way. We all don't give value the same way. We all have our different lanes. We all have the different expertise, different experiences, different upbringings, different everything. So we all are different in our own way. So you don't have to be like me. You don't have to be like Beez. You don't have to be like Nick. You don't have to be like any of the people that you see that's in Hive. But what we want you to do is ask yourself, what was I put on this earth to do? What was I built on this earth to give value to? And just tap into that. And if we can help you guys do that, regardless if you're involved in Hive or not, which there's definitely going to be opportunities for people to get involved in Hive community, which is the next phase of getting community leaders around the cities and around the world to create their own kind of community of Hive and run it, then you'll be ready to be tapped in. But that's what I'm excited about, bro, that we've come together for the purpose, and hopefully we can inspire other people to accept their purpose and give back.
It's again, we changing the world. You feel me? We changing the world, man, because you already know one of the stigmas of our community has always been crabs in a barrel, crabs in a bucket, whatever it is, right? And we're proving that that's not the case anymore. We're proving it doesn't have to be, and should definitely not be the case, right? And we're gonna lead by example. And that's why we have Hive community, as Van was saying, because Hive community is, we want to replicate what we can build. We want it to be replicated by everybody. Inclusion over exclusion again, right? We want everybody to be able to come up the same way. Find your tribe, find your people within your community that you could come together with and provide impact and help kids and help, maybe you want to help the elderly. Maybe you have some other passion, but help, give back, right? Let's make this happen. This is a movement that we're starting right now. And, again, no delusions of grandeur. It's just, we know that this is powerful. And we know that, we're genuine in our desire to make this happen. So when you're genuine and you ain't looking for nothing in return, the universe is just gonna continue to reward you in your heart. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy. I'm super happy, bro. I'm always smiling. I'm always excited, to the point that sometimes I'm tired because I'm smiling so much or whatever. I'm, lose my voice, all these different things. But it's because of that excitement when I hear somebody say, yeah, you guys are, y'all changed my life. Or, yeah, I appreciate what you guys are doing so much. Sometimes we don't even think about the people that's watching us. We just keep talking. We keep giving information out. We keep doing things just to help, not realizing like, we really are impacting people. And, shout out to our brother Umar again, man. I can't give him enough flowers, man, because I feel that brother Umar is the glue between all of us, right? Even those in Hive who only recently met him, I feel like he still is that glue. He's that one. He's the first one that's going to be on our group chat talking about Grand Rising, good morning, fellas, my brothers, this and this and that. Let's change the world. Nothing but positive talk. And how he told me and you, Van, that, sometimes we're too close to the mirror to see the impact we really having, right? And that's powerful, man. And he's just motivating us even more. So that's what this is about. It's not just the impact that we have it on others, but the impact we have it on each other, right? We there for each other. We creating a family, and I couldn't be happier, man. This is what I live for, bro.
Absolutely, man. So we gonna close it out. I just want you guys to know, when y'all hear this podcast, my man Beez is on the East Coast. We shoot this podcast, man. My man is doing this. It's 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock on the East Coast. 12:30 on the East Coast. He stays Midnight. Up to do these podcasts. And last week we did miss a week, but that's the goes to show you how busy we are. So I'm gonna show you how busy we were. Me and B, and it's the first time this has ever happened. Beez flew to Atlanta, and I also flew to Atlanta, and I didn't even see Beez. We didn't hook up. That's the first time we ever was in the same city outside of our city, and we didn't even get together because of how much things we had going on, crossing, each other's paths, right? So when we do these podcasts, the only fee we ask for you guys, because the podcast is free, we're investing our time, our money to get this podcast out to you guys, is to just share the podcast with at least 2 people that you feel like could benefit from the information that's in the podcast, that could benefit from the vibe, that could just, have some type of benefit from the things that we're doing. Just share the podcast, have them subscribe to one of the different platforms we're on, whether it's Spotify, Apple, wherever it's at. Have them subscribe and have them tap in, share it in your social media feeds, tag us in your 24-hour feed. And that's the only fee we got for the podcast, is just to share it to other people that could benefit.
It's facts. And look out for us on Facebook soon. Facebook Podcasts, just recently kind of launched. And we should be on there very soon, if not already by the time you hear this. So definitely, like Van said, share this podcast out, man. And hey, nothing but peace and blessings to everybody. Enjoy your day, set your goals, execute, make things happen, and have impact on your community, on people around you. All right, let's get to it.
So hold on real quick. We always say we're going to give a gem, right? We're going to give a gem. So since we're on the giving gem, I'm going to give a different gem. It ain't going to be a business gem. It ain't going to be a how to get money gem. It's going to be a how to give back gem. So every day, it don't have to be money wise. Every day, go do something for someone that you have no expectation of any return from that deed that you did. It don't got to be money. It could be time. It could be whatever it is. Go do something for somebody or some organization with no expectation of return.
Yes, sir.
Do one of those things every day, and I guarantee you'll go to sleep feeling better about yourself at night. You'll go to sleep feeling like you made an impact, no matter what your platform looks like, how many followers you got. And it doesn't have to be, nobody even has to know about it. You don't even have to publicize it. Just do something every day for someone or some organization or whoever, family member, it don't matter, with no expectation of return. That's my gem for today.
Let's go. I love it. Hey, perfect way to end the night. So we'll see y'all on the next episode of Impact Over Everything, the podcast with Beez and Van. Let's go.